Guys, you have to watch this movie. Kim Jee Woon's I Saw the Devil is the most insane movie I have seen in a very, very long time, if not of all time. Like, I'll go that far. It is absolutely nuts, but it is fantastic. Hey guys, it's Jim and welcome back to my channel, and it's time for another must-see movie where I tell you guys a movie which I think you must see absolutely right now. This movie is one of the most intense, thought-provoking and unpredictable movies you will ever see in your life. Trust me. I Saw the Devil is a Korean thriller which tells the story of a police detective played by Byung whose partner is murdered by a notorious serial killer who is on the loose, played by Choi. And this detective decides he is going to take the law into his own hands and he is going to enact justice on this killer. He's not going to bring him in, he's going to take his revenge by any means necessary. This is a brutal, relentless, uncompromising and very gruesome movie. But for me, the true horror lies in the raw emotion this movie puts forth. You know, just the way that it depicts loss, the way that it depicts grief, the way that it depicts human morality. So uncompromising and in your face and just striking and intense. You are literally on the edge of your seat. You feel this movie when you're watching it. You know, and it's not even the blood and guts. There is blood and guts in this movie, but essentially it's the bubbling emotion at the core of the story, the hatred between these two characters. The way that our police chief has just let this, you know, this murder of his partner has engulfed him. It's took away his morality. It's made him just want to cause pain to this killer. Just cause pain to this killer. And that's it. His tunnel vision, cause pain. And he decides when enough is enough. He's going to decide when he's enacted enough pain. Which is a crazy idea, you know, you think about it. If you had something terrible, heaven forbid any of you out there have had this. Heaven forbid. But if you have had someone die close to you, you know, as a result of a murder, of a senseless crime, what would you do if you could get hold of the person? If you could enact your own justice? That's what this movie's about. Kim Jee Woon is a stunning director. He really is. He's an unbelievable director because he fills this movie with such a down-to-earth, moody feeling, such a grit, such a darkness, such a intensity, as I've said, but also a wildness, an out-of-control action kind of feel. But it's not really an action movie, but there are some moments of fights, of spectacle, of wildness, you know, wild car moments and this and that. But it always feels restrained. You know, it's almost like it's got everything you want from a thriller in it. You know, it's got those crazy moments, but at the core, he brings it all together, and it really is about these two men. It's about essentially good versus evil, but the guy representing good is just, he doesn't even know what good is anymore. He thinks he's doing good, but he's clouded and he just wants to get that revenge. He just thinks, I am the one who knows how much revenge is enough because of what this guy's taken from me. And it's such a fascinating idea. You know, what is enough? What justice is enough? This is probably why we have a criminal justice system, because if we were able to decide what happens to killers based on our own emotion, we probably become killers too in our own way. I mean, it's crazy. You know, it's about how losing what's most important to you. It's about how the injustice of the world, the nihilistic feeling of the world can engulf you. There are moments where our police chief is just screaming on screen. He's so overwhelmed and engulfed, and he's over that line. He's over that line, but he doesn't want to be. You know, he still holds on to his humanity, but he still feels, essentially, he feels like it's right that this person gets all the revenge I can give him. It is right. It feels right. The performances in this movie are so convincing. Choi is spectacular as this serial killer. You feel uncomfortable whenever he's on screen. Not a moment in this movie do you not feel uncomfortable when this character's on screen. He is gruesome, he's sadistic, he's vile, he's disgusting to look at. You know, he's always sweaty and grimy and disgusting and despicable. You know, he really does bring forth this character's black heart in a physical performance. You know, there are moments, this is why I come back to this movie still being restrained. There are moments where you see him with his victims and Kim Jee Woon forces you to stay there. You know, in a lot of these movies, we'll get a hint of what the killer's going to do. We'll get a hint. This movie, Kim Jee Woon, you're sitting there. You are sitting in that room with the killer, with his victims. That's what you're doing, and, you know, and he's a perverted killer. So you see him, the way that he's, you know, torturing women. You know, in other respects, it's not a deeply brutal film. Like I've said, there is brutality in it, but it's more about the uncomfortable feeling you get of seeing this guy just be who he is towards his victims. You know, you see him do a great deal of things, but you're forced to sit there and feel his disgusting nature, really. The way he intimidates his victims, really. We get a few intense moments where he does do things to victims, but ultimately he just intimidates and he's vile. Choi Min-sik's character has literally got rid of his morals. You know, it's a movie all about morals. It's a movie about when should you hold on to morals when you have had this terrible thing happen to you. If the person that you hate, the person you want to enact revenge on, has no morals. Morals mean nothing to him. So it's almost discussing the idea, why should you have morals when it comes to that person? And in the same way, not just about morals, it's a film about pain. How much pain would be enough to get your revenge on someone like this? But by the same token that he doesn't feel morals, he doesn't really feel pain. He doesn't view pain in the same way that you do. So really, you can enact all this pain on him, and he's not necessarily feeling it how you want him to. It's, you know, and there's such a heartbreaking moment where Choi Min-sik's character says, "I've already won. No matter what you do, I've already won." And it's heartbreaking because it's almost true, because no matter what you do to this guy, he's never going to realise what he did to his victims, because he's not capable of that. He's not capable of that empathy. But it's highly entertaining. It's a highly entertaining watch. You know, all these themes that are going on, all these uncomfortable moments, it's still highly entertaining. You know, there's chases, there's action. There's just a fantastic filmmaking style by Kim Jee Woon, some unforgettable sequences. Some are just unpredictable. Every moment of this film, you will not know what's going to happen next. And there's a moment where the killer gets into a taxi, and what happens in that taxi, you would never, ever imagine that he would do. But Kim Jee Woon shoots it in such a crazy way. You were just left feeling, I don't know what's going to happen next in this movie. This is insane. This film literally grabs you by the neck and shakes you for 2 hours, however long it is. Just shakes you. And then will just hold you in place and stares at you and lingers and forces you to experience. And then it will just start shaking you again. You know, the whole movie is this kind of physical experience. It really is like a trip, this movie. You know, I was blown away by it. Check this movie out, guys. I had this Blu-ray for so long and I never watched it. And I'm just baffled that I didn't, and I'm so glad that I did. And Kim Jee Woon is actually the director of Old Boy, it says at the top here. And Old Boy is a film I watched a while back, but I don't really remember. But I remember it really being really, really good, and a lot like this, just mind-bending and crazy. So I'm going to have to rewatch Old Boy. He also had a film called The Good, The Bad and The Weird. He's a fascinating director, you know, one of the most knife-edge directors, you know, I've seen in a long time. Such a recommended film. Let me know what you think of I Saw the Devil. Please watch it, guys, and let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching another must-see movie review, guys. Check out some more of my videos on the screen now, and please subscribe if you're a movie geek just like me, and we can geek out together. See you next time.